Alright, so I'm sitting here. Wait, hang on. Something isn't right with this picture. There we go. So I'm sitting here talking to Xerxes, right? And I'm like, oh, hey man, do you want to battle? And he's like, well, yeah, okay then. Which, when you consider things, is fucking amazing, because he never battles anyone. But he's like, first I need to pick someone that isn't Skarmbliss Noir. I'm like, but why? He's like, I can't use that stuff against whiscash. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can do it. Besides, whiscash picks Skarms out of its teeth, bro. He's like, how does he do that? And he's like, with a toothpick. Knob. So anyway, keen to prove my point, we get into this battle. And, I brought my good old favourites team, and he actually brought a really, really bad team. He leads off with Inferno, because I lead off with Terry, and I'm like, this could have Earthquake, and even then, Flare Blitz will probably kill me anyway. So I'm like, alright, fuck this shit. I am so going to Gira. And he's actually going to U-turn out on my Gira, so I'm not entirely sure what it is, because it's a lead ape. I don't know if it's like Nasty Plot or Stealth Rocks. I don't know what the dinosaurs used back then, even though, yeah, the sets back then were so much better than the crap we have now, but oh well. He actually takes quite a lot of time thinking about this, because he don't know what Terry's gonna do, and in fact, he doesn't know what any of my crap's really gonna do, because it's me, let's face it. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a Gira. I'll finally get that Intimidate on him. Just to make sure, if he went EQ, I just kind of wanted to see, you know, what his gig was, but he's going to U-turn out, and he is life-orbed, which I actually failed to notice, which I'm pretty sure is one of the things he does quite a lot, but there you go. I really wasn't paying attention. I thought it was sashed for the entire fucking battle, because it was a lead ape. But oh well, that's my problem. And he's going to go into a Starmie. I'm like, should Gira take this? Because this is my, a set that was recommended to me a long time ago. And I know he's got the T-Bolt, I don't know, Gira can occasionally live electric moves. It has taken far more powerful ones. But I don't know, Starmie's kind of an iffy thing, and this isn't, this is a max special attack, max special defense mix Gira with DD and Stone Edge as opposed to EQ, and Hydro Pump and Fire Blast. So, forgetting the fact that I can't do anything to it anyway, I didn't really want to take the T-Bolt, I didn't really want to chance it. So, like I say, I'm a little bit afraid, and I'm actually just going to go to whiscash after I think for a hell of a long time, because it really, like, debated with me, like, can Gira live a T-Bolt? But I decided against it, so I just go into whiscash, because whiscash doesn't give a fuck about your T-Bolts or your skarmories, bitch! He will sit there for days, and he will tank that stuff like it's his job. But, he's actually going to switch out, I believe, into his Skarm. Which is a bit like, well, time to put my money where my mouth is. So, yeah, I still think, given the time, whiscash could absolutely rape a Skarmory. But a Skarmory is a Skarmory, and I did kind of underestimate it massively as he switches out and goes into it. And I just go Earthquake, playing it safe. I've seen Ape and Starmie. I wasn't entirely sure what he wanted to bring. But still, here's the Skarmory. I'm just going to go for a Waterfall. And I look at the damage. I'm like, we may have a problem here. But still, I'm confident whiscash can pull this shit out. And I do get the flinch, and I was like, fuck yes, whiscash is amazing. So I think, well, if I'm going to do it, let's go for it. So I'm at the moment, my game plan is I will flinch it to death. But he actually does get through and sets up spikes, which, come on, whiscash, you've got to flinch hacks these Skarmories. You're better than that. So I'm just going to switch out, because this is the biggest losing battle I could possibly be facing. It's just not happening. And like I say, I've used Skarmory before, I know it's a beast, but whiscash is just better. But that will be proven in time. That will be proven in time. But my thinking is, I'll go to Gira and just drop a Fire Blast in its face. I'm max special attack modest with a Life Orb. It'll probably kill. I really can't think he'll survive that. So that's what I do, as I switch out. I go into Gira, and he whirlwinds. I'm like, that's not very nice, is it? So, yeah, he's gonna whirlwind me out. I'm still a little bit annoyed. And then goes Marowak. And I'm thinking, unprotected focus punch, methinks, as he goes for the whirlwind. And he actually tells me, after we do this move, that he so nearly clicked Roost. And I was like, oh, that would have been the most amazing thing in the world. But he drill pecks me, and he ruins my focus punch, and I was like, oh, you bastard. And then here I'm thinking, well, surely he doesn't want to chance it. So I go for a sob as he goes for a whirlwind. I'm like, oh, I'm being predicted all over the place here. He's screwing with my Marowak. I don't like that. I like my Marowak the way it is. You know, unprotected focus punching shit for days. Because he's a beast, you know. More people need to use the Marowak. It's such a fucking truck. But still, he does out-predict me. I suppose I could have gone for a Stone Edge, but... or just another focus punch. But ultimately, I have no lefties, and I was going to start losing that battle if I tried that. But still, he makes the right play. He's going to whirlwind me out. And back in comes whiscash. And I'm like, I've seen before that this isn't a fight I really want to take part in. In time, yes. After like 7 DDs, I know I can't get +7, shush. After numerous amounts of DDs, I will win that battle. But unfortunately, he has Whirlwind, and I don't have Suction Cup. So I'm thinking, right, I'll go on a Licky. I'll Fire Blast the shit out of it as he goes for another layer of spikes. Thinking, right, this is my opportunity. This is going to be amazing. But unfortunately, he has faced me quite a few times. And he kind of knows what I like to run on my Licky, I guess. I don't know. He predicts it quite well. And he knows what my gig is. Because he knows that Licky has such a massive move pool that some vague fire move or special move of any description is probably going his way. So he's actually going to switch into his Snorlax. And I thought that was going to be his Blissey replacement. But he said no. Which makes me think he did have a Blissey. But I don't know. In comes the Snorlax, and I'm like, oh god, this fat piece of shit is just going to be stinking up the place. I need a way of getting rid of this thing. And Skarflicky is doing nothing with Fire Blast, so that's not exactly something I want to do. So I am just going to switch out. And I'm going to go into Terry for my sneak play. You're going to love this, kids. So he's actually going to switch out, which means I don't get to use my sneak play yet, and he goes into his Crass. I'm like, oh, Crass. I hate you, you stupid duck thing, moon duck, I don't know. Either way, he gets burned, so I know it's his Psycho Shift one, and the only thing that wants to take a Psycho Shift burn is Dave, because Dave is arguably the only special attacker on my team. I know Gira has special moves, but that's mixed. Every other favourite poke I picked is bloody physical, so I'm like, shit, let's go into Dave. You're going to have to take that burn, Dave. So he Psycho Shifts the burn over to Dave, and I'm like, yeah, poor Dave. But he's going to have to deal, you know? So, it's quite obvious that the switch to Snorlax is, well, massively obvious, because I'm a ghost, Chris is weak to ghost, Snorlax laughs at ghosts. That seems like a safe play for him. So I'm thinking, I'll double switch back into Terry as he goes into Snorlax. He won't see this one coming. So he's going to switch out, and he's going to go into his Snorlax, and I'm thinking, it's time to reveal my sneak play. Here we go. Don't you screw this up. Dynamic Punch, bitch! Bang! Banded Dynamic Punch. Get on my level. What have you got? That absolutely trucks the Snorlax, does over half, and I'm like, oh yes, Terry is so good. But he does get his curse up. I'm like, oh, here we go, Terry. You've got to hit another one. If Terry hits another one, I will kill him, and I will be so proud of Terry. It's unreal. But unfortunately, 50% accuracy is kind of what you pay for. It's gonna hit half the time. So as I go for a Dynamic Punch, I miss. I'm like, no, Terry! And he gets confused and he hurts himself. I'm like, okay, I've got another shot at this. Come on, Terry. You can do it, Terry, me old mate. You got this. So I'm gonna go for it again. And unfortunately, he breaks through confusion and rests. And he's a Resto Chesto. Does he break through? Yes, he does. He's a Resto Chesto, and that doesn't bode well for anyone, because Snorlax is a bulky mofo, and the only thing that's really going to be able to kill it is Marowak. So yeah, there's it. He didn't realise he had a chest though. He didn't really know. But now he does, and now he's +1. But I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm here, and I still have Dynamic Punch, and I'm still banded fucking Terry. So I Dynamic Punch, and I fucking hit again. I'm like, oh yes, Terry is so good, man. Absolutely smashed the Snorlax in the face. But then he goes for the Body Slam. And I'm like, no, come on, Terry. You got this, lad. And I take it. But I get paralysed. I'm like, oh, balls. His Snorlax probably outspeeds me now. That's not good. So, I want to switch out to save Terry. But, unfortunately, Terry just can't do anything now. He's kind of spent. I mean, I suppose he has his Gunk Shot, but then he has a Scar, man. Terry's gonna lose. But he switches out, and he goes into his Starmie, as I go for a Dynamic Punch, and I miss. I'd love to have landed another one. That would have been fucking hilarious. Either way, Terry did work with those Dynamic Punches. Fucking sneak play up in this bitch. And unfortunately, he's gonna Ice Beam and kill Terry. So, good work, Terry. You tried hard. And you got pretty far. You just got Jewed over by 50%. But, oh well. So now goes Terry. And I'm thinking, that Snorlax is still at decent HP. So in reality, nothing was really accomplished. But I'm thinking, I'll go into Licky. And this, being a Scarf Licky, I'm thinking, I might outspeed the Starmie, depending on what set it is. If it's a bulky set, maybe. I think I pull like 330 speed. Something around that. So if it's modest or bulky, I'll outspeed, and I'll power whip its face off. But he's a pansy, he's going to switch out, he's going to go to his crest, and I was like, nah. So there we go. Does pretty much negligible damage to the crest. Which, I suppose, I mean, I am Scarfed, I have max speed, and I am hasty. So I don't have much in the way of attack or special attack. But I'm thinking, right, I need to get summon going, so I'll go into Dave. And he rests. And I'm thinking, oh my, I'm never going to kill this thing. It's this Snorlax, and it's going to be very difficult. It's a walling combo that's an absolute pain in the dick. Especially with Skarmory sitting there, like, with, what, like, no damage on it. But he's going to switch out, he's going to go back into his Snorlax. And I'm thinking, alright, Dave, let's do this, Dave. So I sub, and I'm thinking, alright, if I Charge Beam twice, Burn will take me down to my Pataya, and then I hit him with a +3 stab, Hidden Power Flying. So I go for the Charge Beam, and I hit the Snorlax, and I don't get a boost. And what the hell, Charge Beam? What the hell, man? You gotta do better than that. So he gets a curse off, and I'm thinking, okay, this isn't great. But I go for another Charge Beam. God's sake. Don't die on me now, bro. I still have 5 minutes left. Go for another Charge Beam, and I don't get a boost. I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, Charge Beam, you shit, mate. And he rests, I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. So now, I have 2 hits left from Burn. I need to Hidden Power Flying the fuck out of this thing. So I go for 1 Hidden Power Flying, that's +1 stab. And it does about a fifth, maybe. And I was like, this was a really poor idea looking back on it. Really, really poor. So I go over it again, and lo and behold, Dave, your legend Dave, fucking gets the crit, and I'm like, oh yes, go Dave, fucking critting, fat Snorlaxes, oh yeah. So now I'm dead. Dave did his work though, he pulled his weight. If he wasn't burned, he would have swept everything. But now I need to go into Marowak, and I need to go for a Boomerang, otherwise I will fucking lose to this bloody Snorlax. And yeah, Boomerang's better than EQ. I'm saying that now, it's just better. No one uses Boomerang. Poor Boomerang, the neglected move of awesomeness. But still, he doesn't really want to sack his Snorlax, because he was actually going for a 6-0. And he goes into his Cress, as I go for it. And, I was thinking, oh, Maro will outspeed a Cress, and I forget how quick Cress is. So he Sleepdoors, gets the, rest. And I was like, oh, thank God, if he'd Psycho Shifted the Sleepover. Oh, man, that sucked. But still, now I've got a sub-up, and his Crest cannot touch me for shit. So I'm gonna Focus Punch for days now, I don't care. And he switches straight into his Skarm, which just, takes the fucking Thick Club Focus Punch to the face. And it doesn't do that much. I was like, that's disappointing. I expected it to completely truck him, but there you go. That's why Skarm is one of the best physical walls in bloody 4th gen. Yeah, I'd say it's best. Gliscor's pretty close, though. Pretty close. But still, I've got to keep going for it, and I know he's going to whirlwind me, but I smack him again, and I do tons of damage, so his Skarm is effectively dead. Effectively. Now, what I've seen is I've seen a Skarm, Crest, Snorlax, Starmie, and Infernape. I don't know what his last is, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Bean can clean up shop. His Ape is Life Orb, which I forgot about, but now I know. His Starmie, unless it's really bulky, a +1 EQ will probably kill that. The Skarm is so low it's irrelevant, and the Snorlax is low enough that it's irrelevant as well. So he brings in Crest as I go for a waterfall. And I'm not going to be able to kill that off with Mr. Bean. But if I can get rid of this Crest, I'm pretty sure, I am supremely confident whiscash will clean up shop and will rob it in Xerxes' face that whiscash just eats Skarms. So I'm going to sack Marowak so I don't take the Psycho Shift. And then I'm going to go in a Licky. And Licky is going to make the sacrifice as he goes for the Psycho Shift. And this is really crucial as well, because he's about to go for a rest, because he's going to wake up this turn. So Licky, your explosion has to kill. And I go for it with my Scarf Licky, and I've never used Scarf Licky, so I don't know, and Crest is a bulky mofo. But thank you, 4th gen mechanics, because it just demolishes the Crest. Flat out just destroys it. The power of Scarf Licky, my friends. The power. But this is it. It all comes down to this. I'm going to send in Gira just to scout in case he brings in Skarmory, but he brings in Starmie. So I have to flat out sack the Gira. I don't want to switch into whiscash in case he goes for a Hydro Pump and just rolls me. So I made the safe but kind of silly plays. He goes for a T-Bolt, just takes out my Gira, and this is it. This is it really, like, properly now, it. And I'm going into whiscash. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got this on lockdown. I don't know what his last is, but surely whiscash can pull this out. So I go for a DD, and he brings in the one thing I didn't want to see. And I was so pissed. Fucking Breloom. I was like, oh god damn it. He resists every single one of my moves completely. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna have to get a crit flinch to win. That's all it comes down to. If I don't crit flinch this Breloom, I can't win. It's physically impossible. So I'm gearing him up like, come on whiscash. Go for that +1 waterfall. I hit the Breloom. It's going down. It doesn't do enough, but I flinch. And I'm like, oh, come on whiscash, you need the crit. If you get the crit, lad, that's it, it's done. It's completely done. He'll outspeed the Starmie, and the Ape, so I can do it, and I waterfall, and I don't get the crit, and I'm like, no, whiscash, oh. But that is great game, Xerxes. I enjoyed that one massively. That is the end of the battles for today. I hope you enjoy the battles that will be coming tomorrow, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.